In this video, we have another exciting update. Tesla's full self-driving or FSD feature has unexpectedly made its way to the download list in Taiwan too. Isn't that incredible? Keep watching as we delve into these updates and provide all the details. Reduce prices and extended supercharging miles. Let's review Tesla's recent promotions from the past few days. Determining whether my prediction was accurate or whether Tesla never fails to astound is challenging. Tesla has reduced the prices of select Model 3 and Model Y variants in the United States and Taiwan over the past few days. Purchase any variant of the Model 3 and have it delivered before the end of June. You will receive an extra 3 months of unlimited supercharging miles. Unlock summer savings with Tesla's extended supercharging offer. This offer is especially beneficial for those contemplating long-distance or cross-country travel during summer break. 3 months of unlimited supercharging miles can lead to significant savings. As we shift our focus to Taiwan, there is also excellent news. Customers who order and receive their Model Y before June 26 are eligible for an $8,000 discount, 1 year of comprehensive insurance, and 3 optional enhancements. Exciting offers in Taiwan. Discounts, insurance, and optional upgrades for Model Y. For the long-range model, you may choose a free upgrade to 20-inch rims, black exterior paint, or white interior. Since the wheels are already upgraded on the performance model, you can choose between 3 years or 30,000 kilometers of complimentary supercharging miles. The combined value of these options exceeds 100,000 new Taiwan dollars, which is genuinely impressive. Considerations for maximizing benefits. Before you can appreciate these advantages, you must consider several essential details. If you choose to modify the Model Y's wheels, it is the most cost-effective option at 75,000 new Taiwanese dollars. Please note, however, that this may marginally reduce your range. Unlike the American website, the Taiwanese website does not indicate any variations in range after wheel upgrades. The impact of wheel upgrades and aesthetics. With 20-inch rims on my car, the battery range has decreased by approximately 20 kilometers. Regarding the driving experience, 20-inch rims offer a slightly more robust road feel than 19-inch wheels. From an aesthetic standpoint, they are significantly more alluring. If you choose a black car paint, your vehicle will look elegant and fashionable. However, black cars may experience higher interior temperatures than white cars during the summer. In this circumstance, gamma jade heat insulation film would be suggested. The upcoming Model 3 upgrades and savings. Choosing a white interior has the primary benefits of being simpler to clean. Regardless of the option selected, Tesla has saved Taiwanese car owners a substantial amount of money. However, additional considerations may be necessary when considering a second Model 3. Suppose you've been a recent subscriber to my channel. In that case, you're probably aware of the Highland project, which entails upgrading the soon-to-be-released Model 3 variant. This is the reason for the significant price reductions of the Model 3 in the United States, which, combined with government rebates, have made it even more affordable than the Toyota Camry. Nonetheless, Model 3 inventory levels continue to increase. Exciting features in HW 4.0 upgrade in the new Model 3. In addition to new headlights, taillights, and steering wheels, the new iteration of the Model 3 may also feature ventilated seats, according to the most recent information. There are rumors that the new version will include ambient illumination and improved sound systems. However, these details still need to be confirmed. Undoubtedly, the HW 4.0 hardware upgrade will be included in the new iteration of the Model 3. Suppose you intend to purchase the full self-driving or FSD feature. In that case, you should wait until the Model 3's new version is released, as upgrading from HW 3.0 to HW 4.0 is not feasible. Whether or not now is a suitable time to purchase depends on your specific requirements. In general, and particularly in the United States, prices are already quite competitive. Nevertheless, it is impossible to forecast whether Tesla will offer additional discounts before the end of June, much like predicting the movement of the stock market next week. Tesla's 13-day winning streak on the stock market ended yesterday due to the Federal Reserve's hawkish statements. Timing your purchase and uncertainty of future promotions. Although the Federal Reserve meeting met market expectations by pausing interest rate increases, Powell emphasized the Fed's resolve to combat inflation and hinted at the possibility of 2 more rate hikes by year's end, bringing the interest rate to 5.6%. The tone of this meeting is more aggressive. The Federal Reserve will observe the market's reaction to their verbal tightening. Ultimately, the timing of future rate reduction depends on whether inflation can be effectively contained. Nevertheless, despite these developments, Tesla's stock price has experienced a remarkable surge in recent weeks due to the generous donations made. Solid-state batteries and monocoque frames. The transition toward electric vehicles is gathering momentum. The most recent announcement reveals a transition from solid-state battery research to production, with solid-state battery-powered electric vehicles expected to be available by 2027 or 2028. Toyota asserts that its ongoing development of solid-state batteries will enable a 10-minute charge for approximately 1,200 kilometers of travel distance. If this becomes an actuality, future charging would be similar to refueling. Moreover, Toyota has introduced a monocoque frame to reduce production costs, drawing inspiration from Tesla. Toyota's active role in the electric vehicle industry and Tesla's advancements. FSD. Toyota's involvement in the development of the electric vehicle industry is manifest, as evidenced by the soaring stock prices of both Tesla and Toyota. In contrast, Tesla continues to make advancements and improvements, particularly with its full self-driving or FSD function. Tesla expanded FSD to more locations, including Taiwan, on December 11, 2023. Availability is presently limited and primarily reserved for testing by Tesla employees. The In-N-Out burger popularity in Taiwan. The recent In-N-Out burger pop-up event in Taiwan has garnered considerable popularity and intrigued as to whether any of these viewers waited in line for it. However, I'd like to tell you about an intriguing incident involving In-N-Out Burger in Northern California. It appears that the Tesla team was quite hungry, as they drove a Cybertruck draped in camouflage to In-N-Out Burger to purchase burgers. The wrap made the Cybertruck look even more superior. We are curious to know if this was done for testing or to conceal other modifications made to the Cybertruck. And that completes our video for today. We hope you enjoyed learning the incredible updates of Tesla Model 3 and why. Which of them are you most excited about? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Tech Bros for more content such as this.